If you use After Effects, you need to know these three effects. Trust me, they can instantly level up your edits. So let's jump into the computer screen and check out the edits.
Now I am on the computer screen and I am going to show you how I use stream paths. First I create a solid background by pressing Ctrl plus Y. Then I pressed Q on the keyboard and created a rectangle shape. I changed the rectangle color to red. After that, I made it little smaller and adjust the position. Now I am going to show you how we can animate this shape using trim paths. From the shape option, I want to add and select trim paths. Now the trim path option is available. After opening trim paths, if we change the start value, we can see the shape is animating. If we want to animation to come from the opposition direction, we can go the rectangle path option and enable reverse path direction. But for now, I want to keep the normal animation direction. First I created a keyframe on the start value. Then I move the 4 second and create another keyframe. I change the start value to 100. After that, I move the 6 second, create another keyframe and change the start value back to 0%. Then I select all the keyframe and applied eases. If we do not want this style and if we want to add a little twist to the animation, we can also animate the end value. We will get a similar result, but it will have a different look. Now I open the graphics editor and adjust the curves to make the animation smoother. As we can see, the animation now look much better. Next I enable motion blur for the shape layer. Then I added deep glow. After that, I enable taper. I set the start length 30%. I also set the end layer to 30%. Then I change the exposure value to 0.06. Now the animation looks much better. We can also see the glow effects has been added. There is a little contrast that make look slightly harsh. I select the layer and move the anchor point to the center. Now it is look smoother and clear. This was my first trick that can make your animation look better. Now I am going to show you the second effect. This effect is called Bevel Alpha. First I create another new background by pressing Ctrl plus Y. Then I create a text layer. I change the font color so the text is clearly visible. After that I adjust the anchor point and placed into the center. Then I aligned everything to the center properly. Now I applied 4 color gradient. After that I changed the font style. I use Montserrat font and made it bold so it looks clean and strong. Then I start adjust the color in the 4 color gradient effect. As I change the color, you can see different looks appearing in the text. If I tweak the color more, it looks even better. I brought the text back to the center again. Then I change the 4th color a little to improve the look. This type of text style is widely used in Instagram videos. Next I added deep glow to the text. I select the exposure to 0.04. Now I searches for Bevel Alpha and applied it. I set the edges thickness to 2.90. Then I added a drop shadow. Now the text looks really good and professional. You can use this style in any of your videos. It will make your editing look much more attractive. I also tested the bevel setting a little more to see different looks. You can use it or skip it depending on your style. Now I am going to add a CC light sweep. I search for CC light sweep and applied it. I place the light sweep on the text. As we can see, it make it text look more attractive. First I create a keyframe from the center position. Then I moved to 3 seconds and added another keyframe. I select those keyframe and applied eases. Now the animation look smooth. Then I adjust the graph edit to make it even smoother. Next I work on the deep shadow. I increase the softness to 30. I set the distance to 7. I keep the opacity at 30%. Now the shadow looks better and softer. I adjust it little more, improve the final look. This is my second effect. Now I am going to show you third effect. This is Morph Animation. First I create a new composition by pressing Ctrl plus N. Then I create a new background by pressing Ctrl plus Y. After that I select the rectangle tool and create a shape. I turned off the stroke and turn on the fill. Then I change the color to red. I select the anchor point and move it to to the center. Now this is a rectangle shape. If I want to change it into a circle, I can animation to size, position and roundness. First I create keyframe for size, position and roundness. Now I start changing the values. I increase the roundness, the rectangle slowly become a circle. You can clearly see the morph animation happening. I adjust the position slightly downward. I select all keyframe and applied eases. If I reduce the roundness, I change the size, position a little. I can create another variant of the animation. I increase the size a bit. Now I again applied eases and move the keyframe closer. Now the animation looks more smooth. I increase the roundness in the last keyframe so it is looks better. Now I want to add a bounce effect to the position. So I add a bounce effect to the position property. Now we can see a nice bounce movement. I adjust the trimming by moving the keyframes closer. Now I adjust to the again make it look smoother. Now the animation looks better. At one point the keyframe become too closer. I adjust trim again. Now it looks balanced. Now if you want to bring it back to original shape, we can do that. I reduce the clear value. I added another keyframe in the middle. I move the position back to the original place and add a keyframe. I keep the size a bit larger so the change is visible and adjust theme in the graphs editor. I also turn the last position keyframe. Next I added 4 color gradient. After applying it, the shape looks more attractive. Then I added fill effects. Now I want to animation the fill colors. First I adjust the color. Then I added keyframe for different color at different points. At first the layer order was not correct, so it was not clearly visible. So I moved the layer above. Now the layer changes are clearly visible. Now I copied the first color keyframe and paste it at the end so the animation returns back to the original color. I select all keyframes and applied eases. Now the full animation looks complete. Next I added wiggle expression to the position. I pressed P to open position. Now I applied wiggle and make it 2.6. Now the shape has a suitable movement. Now I tested Bevel Alpha and Deep Glow again. I adjust some settings slightly. My main focus of the effect is the morph animation. The shape changes for the rectangle to clearly and the back to rectangle. This is the main idea of the animation. You can use this technique in your own videos. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching my video.